Dungeon Master Hotline. How can I help you?
Hello.
What do you got for me?
So, should I just read out what I wrote again?
Yeah. Just hit me.
Yeah, so I like to improv a lot for my sessions because that's what I'm comfortable with. I have about 2 hours to prepare just things I can throw at my players. But I want to do dungeons, which really push my players and make them think a lot, but I don't know how to do that with so little time to prepare, and I can't really just buy something from DMG either right now.
Okay. Improv. Okay. So why are you committed to improv? Just because of your prep time?
Yeah, but I'm also one of those weird GMs that's oddly comfortable with it too.
Okay. Tell me the difference between so when you say you're an improv DM, elaborate on that. What does that mean?
Have you heard of the lazy dungeon master guide from Sly Flourish?
I have.
Yeah, so that's more or less what I mean. I just have a bunch of things listed out and I kind of deploy them in response to my players or have an idea of what I might deploy depending on what they do.
Okay. All right, so you want to start running dungeons. All right, about how much prep time do you have?
I have
Bef-
about 2 hours.
2 hours of prep time per session?
Yeah.
And you want really long dungeons.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What can you do with that? Well, there is a simple. Have you heard of the 5 room dungeon? Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I've heard of the concept of it.
Okay. That could be something that you expand on just for the people that don't know. A 5 room dungeon is there are 5 stages to a dungeon. The first one is the entrance. The second one is puzzle or role play challenge. So stage 2 is puzzle/RP. 3 is trick or setback. 4 is the big battle or conflict or climax. I'm just going to put climax. And then finally is the reward or the revelation. So if you scale those up, you can make a bigger dungeon. As far as that's just basic dungeon building. So what do you do with your prep time? Tell me that.
So with my prep time, I pull a bunch of things that I can use. So I have like a list of GM names to put on NPCs, list of monsters that I can throw relative to where they are in the map. I put down a bunch of secrets and clues that I could tell them for RP moments, a list of rewards depending on what they do, stuff like that.
Okay. So you could do the same. You could do the same with a dungeon, I think. If you came up with room tables, I'm sure they exist. I'm sure there's like room tables. But basically the same way that Diablo does it, like you just have a random room from your tables. So that's what I would do with your prep time. So maybe write puzzle, RP, combat, and then those could be your 3 rooms, and then you can just develop charts for those, and then you can just cycle through them or roll to see which one you do. I'm not sure how you pull from your charts or from your tables, but that would be, yeah, puzzle, RP, combat, or a reward, maybe a trap. So that gives you like a long list that you can pull from.
Okay, so I just like put one of those in each room, or do I like expand the 5 room dungeon so it's like one session is the Guardian, one session is the climax?
That yes, I think so. That one's tricky because if you spend an entire, it really depends on. All right, so how long are your sessions?
My sessions are about 2 hours, so short compared to most DM. D.
In that case, yes. One session devoted to the entrance, and then or to the guardian. But I would like, so I think that every session, it's going to be dependent on your group, but I think that every session should have an RP and a combat in it. But since you only have 2 hours, you've probably found a good balance there. So just all you got to do is just incorporate into a dungeon. So if you're unfamiliar with dungeons, what do you normally run? There's got to be maybe we can bridge the gap from what you normally do to dungeons.
So what I normally do is I have like an overworld map, and then there's a bunch of locations on it that they can travel to. So then there's random encounters where they'll run into like patrols or something like that. And then I have a few maps ready to go if they choose to like attack a tower or something. But all of these are like one combat focused thing, and then there's a lot of RP in between the two.
Okay. Okay. So an easy way to transition from your overworld map to a dungeon would be to take your overworld map and erase the terrain features, and then you just have like the cities, the dots, and then draw hallways between those dots, and then there you go. You got it. So those dots are each a room, and then you have the hallways, and you're basically just treating it like overland travel. The party's moving from one room to another. You can use the exact same methodology for all of your other for everything else that you would normally do when they do the overland travel. Because overland travel is basically a dungeon, only instead of rooms, it's cities. So just scale down those cities and you got it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. That helps a lot.
Good. Got anything else for me?
I'm like, I think that should do it. Combining the two was the easy solution I hadn't thought of.
All right. Is there anything you want me to
Thanks so
elaborate on?
much. I don't think so. I think that that's everything. You helped a lot.
All right. Take it easy.
Thanks.